Hello, it is Monday, November 27th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Monday puzzle, which means we're going to be solving something hopefully fairly gentle and approachable. And I hope that's the case because, as is so often the case on Monday, I am a bit short on time. So let's see if we can solve this in a reasonable time frame. This hopefully not too long edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Josh Lucas, Alex, Laura Sexton, and, as always, the indomitable Showmaster and the incredible Horan family. Thank you so much to the five of them. They are, of course, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, which means they bring us this series. They keep this whole thing going. Very grateful to them for that. So thanks to those five, but thanks to everybody who's a patron of the channel. And if you'd like to become one, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field where you will then find all of the bonus videos available to patrons. And that includes both the most recent mini puzzle pseudo speed solve, the weekly mini puzzle roundup, and the latest Boss Words Fall Themeless League competition puzzle, which I posted yesterday. So there's another one of those tricky league crosswords that I've solved. Enjoyed this one, so check it out if you're a patron. And that's that. Thank you to everybody who is a patron. And there's also the Daily Solve Discord chat server you can join. There's a link to that friendly chat community in the description field. And finally, it's a huge help as well if you subscribe to the channel on YouTube and like the videos and maybe even drop a comment. Those things are all helpful and appreciated. So thanks if you do those. And now let's get on to today's crossword. It's a Monday puzzle, which means a themed crossword that isn't too tricky, hopefully. It's a debut construction by Ricky J. Surwa. So welcome to him. And apologies if I've mispronounced his name. It was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving, see how we get on. Astrology chart. A star map? Don't know. I don't know what fits there. Inner part, boy, there's some kind of clanging that started immediately once I pressed the start button. I'm sorry about that. Inner parts of ears of corn are probably the cobs, the corn cobs, I would think. So a woodsy home, probably a cabin. You could have a cabin in the woods. And the equivalent of 16 ounces, oh, what is 16 ounces? Is that a gallon? Boy, I always forget these. Is that? I don't know if this is actually what we're looking for. See ya, bye, you might say. And actress Taylor-Joy of The Queen's Gambit, Anya Taylor-Joy, there we go. Maybe this is 1 GL. Ale simmered German sausage informally. A beer bratwurst, maybe? Could be. It sounds plausible to me. Let's look at the cross. No exit playwright. Oh, who is this? Is it Sartre? I mean, I feel like I should have gotten that absolutely immediately. Why am I unsure about that? I don't know. Let's keep going. Thanks in, well, it looks like Tours. I assume it's Tours, French location, which probably means we're going to have a French answer. And thanks in French is merci. Merci, French, thanks. For something to be in store for. It will be in store for you. It will await you. There we go. I do this often. You may notice, I mean, if I'm solving on my own, I do it in my head, obviously. But on the video, I do it aloud where I just try and put the phrase in a sentence just to make sure that you're matching the part of speech. One of the most common errors I see when people, if someone I know is asking me for help with a crossword or something, that one of the very most common things I see is that people will misuse the part of speech. So they will, singular rather than plural, I guess, is one example. But more what I mean is part of speech in terms of noun, verb, adjective. So something that means, slow, they might use a word that means slowly rather than slow, that sort of thing. And so when you put something into a sentence in your brain, you're much more likely to then replace it with a word that matches the context in the grammatically precise way, which it always does. And sometimes people think, well, that's annoying that it has to be exact, but it's actually much better because if it weren't exact, then it would open up a huge amount of ambiguity and there'd be many more possible words that could fit. So it's actually incredibly helpful that the answer always should grammatically precisely fit the clue because it narrows down the possibility space of what you're considering could be possible. That was a bit redundant what I just said. Anyway, newsstand item informally, a magazine. And to start annoying someone is to get at them. So a female sheep is a ewe. There we go. Oh, nope, this isn't get at, it's get to, because unstated but understood is a tacit assumption. It's something that's unstated but understood by all parties. And to start annoying someone is to get to them. Vegetarian dish on a Mexican menu. Vegetarian dish on a Mexican menu. Interesting. What is this? Oh, bean burrito. There we go. Oops. Okay. Equivalent of 16 ounces. Oh, it's not 1 gallon, it's 1 pound. Okay. There we go. I guess that's fluid ounces versus, what do you call the other one? I don't know. Okay. Anyway. Actor Jannings of silent film. Emil Jannings was a famous silent film actor, so there we go. Seen The Blue Angel, maybe? Song created from multiple songs, a mashup, what those are often called. And to threaten to tip as a wildly driven car, the car might careen, it might, tilt over on 2 of its wheels, perhaps. So now that we've, this is actually interesting. On a Monday puzzle, we've got only a single cross into this whole little enclosed area of the grid here. So what can we do with that? Astrology chart. I'm sure this is very obvious to people who know anything about astrology. I don't, so I'm not sure. List of items to discuss at a meeting could be an agenda. Actor Braff of Scrubs. Oh, Zach Braff. Is his name spelled C-H or C-K? I'm not sure. I think maybe C-H. Let's see. Yes, villain's opposite would be the hero of a story. And to be excited about something would be to... I'm excited about. No, not to be too. To be, I'm excited about it, I'm into it. There we go. There's a good example of how I almost mislaid myself about the part of speech. A fairy tale monster could be an ogre. And first word of many a letter is dear. Right, okay. So you may start writing a letter with the salutation, dear whoever, dear John. Any facial feature of the man in the moon in reality would be a crater, so the things that look like, eyes or whatever are, in fact, most likely craters. And a suffix with lemon or lime, lemonade or limeade. Oh, so the astrology chart is the zodiac. Of course it is. Why it should have been overwhelmingly obvious, but nope, apparently not. So we'll keep going. Altimas and Pathfinders, those are Nissan vehicles. And one who keeps order on the court is a referee. There we go. Pub brawl is a bar fight. There we go. Sharp part of a wire fence is a barb, as in barbed wire. There we go. To hate, well, this could be to hate, or it could be hate as a noun, as in the object of hate, to abhor something. So it's probably a verb in this case. And if one catches as a criminal, one nabs the criminal. Yeah, okay, you say, I bet, sarcastically. Clanging is back. Shea butter I've seen as an ingredient in cosmetics. It's the kind of thing that people reference in advertisements and things. French meat stew, for which Julia Child penned a popular recipe. I have to assume this is beef bourguignon. So fair amount of, I can't remember how to spell this. Ends this way anyway. Fair amount of French in this puzzle, isn't there? We've got Sartre, we've got Merci, we've got beef bourguignon. Was there anything else? Maybe it was just those. Still, that's 3. It's still 3, yeah. What about this? Energy unit. An erg is a unit of energy. That I have certainly encountered plenty of times. And your noggin is your head, your brain, your mind. Colorful banded rocks are agates. And the Pakistani language would be Urdu. It would be language of Pakistan. And then an I here. That looks right to me. treated as a sprain. Yes, you could have iced a sprain. Des Moines' home would be Des Moines, Iowa. State, U.S. state. A weight to carry would be the onus. You could say the onus is on you, the weight, the burden of responsibility. And if you had something on as an article of clothing, you wore it. Raggedy Anns are classic dolls. And to turn from cream to butter would be to churn the cream and turn it into butter. This looks like tsetse flies. Yes, fearsome African flies. Tsetses, there we go. This looks like LPGA maybe? Yes. Women's links group, so reference to golf would be the LPGA, which I think is the Ladies Professional Golf Association. And here we have Olga Korbut, 4-time Olympic gold medal gymnast, whose name I have encountered frequently enough to have left it resident in my brain. So that's fortunate for me with sports. And hairpiece would be a rug. Someone might refer to a toupee as a rug. I think usually fairly derisively. Now, in a hospital, stat, doctor might say, get me that thing quickly. And computer programs, oh, maybe this isn't a rug. Okay, so it's not the pejorative reference. It's just a ordinary descriptor of a hairpiece, a wig. So computer programs is software. There we go. And soon, oh my God, clanking. Soon is what? In a sec, maybe? All right, a loaf often made with walnuts. Banana bread could have walnuts in it, I suppose. There we go. And now in Spanish, is that ahora? I don't know if that's right. That's complete guess. It could be dramatically wrong. Alternatives to showers are baths. Something hilarious. A riot? The A would be strange. Why would you need that to be in there? An antic? Prize declined by 10 down. Oh, I assume the Nobel Prize, which is sometimes dramatically refused. So here we have admittedly. Oh, right. Here's our revealer for the theme. Admittedly, or when said aloud, a punny description of 18, 24, 39, and 49 across. So a punny description. These are all double B words. To be sure. Admittedly, to be sure. Yeah, that sounds right. So I think it's just to be. What is the shore doing anything? To be, admittedly, to be sure. I think that's probably the answer. Let's just see if we can finish it off. Long-handled garden tool is a hoe you could use in the garden to hoe a row. And then the blues on scoreboards. St. Louis, maybe? Something hilarious. Why don't I see what this is? Okay, so if I think this is ahora, then, oh, it's a hoot. Oh, that's a real hoot. Okay, fair enough. Just didn't, that's something hilarious. That's a hoot. Yeah, that works. I was wondering why the A is there, but then, yeah, it is true that some of these do actually kind of require the A. Like they're sort of married to it. They don't make sense without it. And this is the case. You could say that was something hilarious. That was a hoot. The hoot is important. All right. Or sorry, the A is important. Commotion. Oh no, this isn't to be sure. Because a commotion presumably is an ado. Admittedly. To be. They're all foods. This has got to be food related. To be. Why do I not think what I don't know. I just feel completely I'm just drawing a blank there entirely. The rim of a glass could be an edge. Its edge, maybe. Commotion. Yeah, it is a do, isn't it? Afflictions are something that ends with an S. And some hard to find collectibles are rares, I guess. I don't know if I think that's good. Toward the rising sun would be east. And a neutral shade, as in terms of a color, is beige. So what is this? Afflictions. Oh, woes. Oh, this isn't innocent. Oh, this has been wrong for this entire time. Ridiculous. In a few, as in, yeah, in a few minutes. I had in a sec That would have been reasonable, I think, but it was not the answer, and I shouldn't have assumed it was. Should have considered there were several possibilities, at least two. Afflictions or woes. There we go. This is to be fair. So it's a punny description because these are fair in the sense of food. They are to be fair, and fair we're spelling in a different manner here because it says once when said aloud, a punny description. So the two becomes the number two, and fair, in this case, fair meaning sort of just or a county fair or something like that, becomes fair in the sense of food. So as in hearty fare. And there we go. It took me ages to land on that. Sorry about that. So these were rares. Okay. Ringed planet could be Saturn. One of a kind is unique. To fill up the gas tank again would be to refill. To put to paper as music would be to notate the music. Present is a gift. Color lead into marine, aquamarine. Well, once again, I've got something wrong. It's not refill, it's refuel. Lots of alternate possibilities today. Tallow source could be suet. So that's, I guess, beef fat that you would use for tallow, to make a candle. And then one named Brazilian soccer icon. I do at least know this. It's Pele. And that means to fight for breath is to gasp, which is correct. So there we go. Fortunately, no more sneaky alternates hiding anywhere in the grid. Managed to finally complete this Monday puzzle, which definitely caught me off guard several times. So there we have it, a debut by Ricky J. Siorna and a nice punny puzzle with four recipes or four dishes united under the punny description to be fair. And there we have it, the beer brat, the bean burrito, the beef bourguignon, and the banana bread, all of which fit that punny category. And that was the Monday puzzle. It caught me off guard a number of times. I mean, I would say, at least 3 times I had something where I put it in the grid and had to swap it out for something similar, but certainly distinct and more correct. And that can happen. So watch out. In addition to the part of speech thing I said earlier, don't assume that just because one thing fits that there aren't any other possibilities, or at least just be prepared to replace things. I mean, it's so much more difficult to replace something that you have in the grid than it is to consider other possibilities when you don't yet have anything in that space, even though really until it's confirmed, it's technically no more certain. But yeah, it's just psychologically difficult to rethink something once you've already got it in the grid. It makes it feel real. So it's worth keeping that in mind and just reminding yourself of it, as I had to do several times today. But there we go. That was the Monday puzzle. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Tuesday edition of the New York Times crossword. Should be, another relatively approachable one. We'll see if it's as tricky as today's. Come back and find out tomorrow. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Monday. Take care.